Hello! Now today, instead of talking about a writing topic or a storytelling topic, we're going to be talking about my webcomic Sunstrike and Bluemist, because for a lot of the topics I wanted to talk about, I feel like I want to be a bit more prepared before I start rambling about them. And yeah, as you can see, this comic has some pretty bad art from 3 years ago. Bad writing too, if I'm being honest, but yeah, again, 3 years ago. It's come a long way since then. And it's kind of cool to look back and see. I don't know. It's funny. Anyway, so yeah, the topic for today is, what is Sunstrike and Bluemist? Now, Sunstrike and Bluemist is, it's aside from being a webcomic that you can read on Comic Fury, Tapas, and my passion project, my favorite story that I like to work on. It is essentially, if it fits into a genre, it would fit into maybe a superhero drama. Heavy on the drama, though. It's not as much of a superhero story at the moment, although there's obviously elements there. Then, I don't know, maybe there'd be a little bit of mystery in there too. But anyway, so it's a superhero drama, and it is the origin story of these two kids here. There's their dad. They will one day, hopefully sooner than later, be the superhero duo, the very powerful superhero duo, Sunstrike and Bluemist. But currently they are these two kids named Kat and Evan. But surprisingly, even though this is Sunstrike and Bluemist's origin story, they're not exactly the main characters. They are main characters, but the main point of view is usually from this field agent named Cairo, who I consider to be the main character of this arc, even though he's not a superhero. He's not even a hero. He is sort of an anti-hero. Now, surprisingly, the story focuses more on him. I can't even remember exactly how that came to be about, but the story is basically, it's a story about redemption and sibling relationships. Big on sibling relationships. I feel like I should have started at a later chapter. So what's the story so far in the plot? Well, the story is about Cairo. He's right here. Cairo, who is working as a field agent for the secret police. That's the chief right there. But he's also working for a weapons designer of some kind, and the type of work he's doing for him seems to be pretty shady, secretly making copies of the sensitive information he is acquiring for the secret police and selling it to Zahn. So Zahn is the name of the weapons designer he works for. And then, but Cairo is pretty jaded and world weary. He doesn't like working on the field. He doesn't like working for Zahn. He just does it because, he's gotta make money, gotta survive. But one day, the chief takes notice of him and offers him a new job, sort of a promotion, but not exactly, of training some new recruits. And those recruits are Kat and Evan. So these recruits are very special, and it's been a long time since the secret police has trained recruits like them. It's a little bit tricky to do, both because of how powerful super mutants are, but also because of the current kind of political climate of the comic, a lot of people are scared of super mutants, and it's difficult for them to get jobs anywhere and to live without having the government keep a very close eye on them, kind of thing. Now, Cairo doesn't really know much about any of that. He just accepts the job because he's sick of the field. And so he's almost immediately introduced to the kids. There he meets Kat. Oh, that was a April Fool's thing back there. And he starts getting to know them, trying to get a feel for what their abilities are like. And yeah, he starts training them. And when Cairo's other boss, Zahn, hears about this, he expressed some interest in the new recruits before. He tells Cairo, not only does he tell Cairo to keep an eye on him, but he makes some strange requests, such as like asking him to get DNA samples of the kids and photographs of them, which Cairo finds kind of disturbing and weird, but he's also pretty apathetic, so he doesn't really question it. So that's basically what has happened in the plot so far with Cairo, like roughly. Like he's getting to know the kids, he's figuring out ways that he can train them, and really trying to do a good job, but also being scared because he really doesn't know much about super mutants or even about kids. He doesn't think he's a very good person, and he's not completely wrong. And then as for the kids, this is their story too, right? Kat's like really eager to succeed in training. She's the yellow one there. And she's basically she's struggling, but she's working really hard. She's improving. Evan, on the other hand, is only there to support his sister. Well, he's there because he wants to be with her, and she really wants to be there, but he has some really serious issues going on, as well as difficulty controlling his abilities. He has an ability called mimicry, which for some reason seems to have a side effect of taking over his body at times, so that he is not conscious of his actions after someone jumps out and scares him, kind of thing. So the characters are not exactly sure why this is. But yeah, so basically we've got the eager new recruit Kat and the not so eager and scared recruit Evan. Both of these kids are very powerful, though. And we have this sort of not clueless because he's very skilled, but clueless when it comes to kids and superpowers, Cairo, who is training them and living a double life, not really sure what to make of all the different things that have been happening, but he's rolling with it. So yeah, I think that's essentially the story plot so far. Is a nice shot. Did I mention that this story was about sibling relationships? So it's obviously very much about Kat and Evan's relationship. They have a very strong, very close relationship, which I think is pretty obvious, except we don't know a whole lot about Evan yet, because he's the type of character who doesn't share much with people at all about himself. So it's harder for the audience to know a lot too, but we've seen little glimpses. And I said this is a story about sibling relationships, not just one. So who are the other siblings? Well, actually, even though this has not come up very much in the story so far, Cairo has a sister, an older sister, similar to how Evan has an older sister. And by the way, Evan and Kat, even though they are siblings, they live as siblings, they're actually biological cousins. But Kat's father adopted Evan after his mother died, and he's been living with them for 2 years as if he is Kat's brother. So it's basically their siblings, but technically they're cousins. But Cairo has a real sister named Sarah, and that was another joke of some kind. Cairo has a real sister named Sarah. She is 3 years older than him, and the only thing we've seen of her so far is Cairo getting text messages from her. And we can see he has been ghosting her somewhat, like he hasn't been responding. But she really cares about him. So even though that hasn't been touched on very much yet in the story, yes, this story is very much about sibling relationships. Kat and Evan's relationship and Cairo and Sarah's relationship, and there's going to be a very strong parallel there. And it's going to be really fun. Like, I really enjoy writing relationships, specifically sibling ones. I don't know, there's something about them that's really powerful to me. And that's probably because I have so many siblings myself, and like there's lots of material to draw from there. And yeah, so not a lot of action so far, but definitely some in like the training scenes. I don't know why it's not loading yet. There's going to be some more action down the road. Again, most of it is during training, but sometimes later on there will be some very serious and some scary things that happen. I'm not going to say what they are. The only thing I'll say maybe is like this story does have a bit of a mystery element to it, since Kat and Evan's father is an inspector who is working on missing super mutants cases. Super mutants are very lucrative on the black market, like buying, selling them, killing them, that kind of thing. So you can see why he's so protective of his kids. It was hard for him to let them train with the secret police. Yeah, but there's going to be like an evil lab, some more bad guys later on, and yeah, like it's gonna be fun. Like I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting, at least, right? So yeah, I think that's a basic, maybe it was a bit more than basic, but that's a summary of what this comic is. And yeah, if you want to read it, it's available on Comic Fury. That's where I am right now. I'm on the website's infinite scroll view, which I think is the highest quality way you can read it online. Although it's also available on Tapas. And you can go to the main site too as well. Like if I go to here, it should go to the main site, which is pretty and stuff, but I think the pages show up a bit smaller. Yeah, see, it shows the last page that was uploaded, and it's like got a nice green background and all these handy pages. Like there's a blog, there's the archive where you can see all the pages, like how many pages there are, and there's like, you can subscribe if you have an account on Comic Fury, and there's a characters page and an about page and stuff, and yeah, it's pretty nice. I really like this site. But yeah, for binging, I'd recommend the infinite scroll view. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much for listening. I think that was pretty much all I was gonna say. I think there's lots of things that I want to do with this story, like a lot of underlying themes in it that I think are really helpful or really interesting, or I want to reach more and more people with it, obviously, because again, I use stories to connect with people. That's the whole point. But I think I can talk about a lot more of that kind of stuff in another video. This is supposed to be like just explaining what the comic is, so I think I did that part. Anyways, hopefully I'll see you next week with another video. I'm not 100% sure what it will be about yet, but yeah, we'll see what what things look like then. But thanks again so much. You are awesome. Have a great week. Bye.